And we're late. All right, let's do it. Hello. All the people in the sphere. What's up? Good morning. All right. What's up, Aaron, Slater, Gus? It better be good. My shows are never good. I just sort of wing it, and you guys keep sticking around, which I totally appreciate you for. Aaron, good morning. What's up, man? All right. Vic, what's up? Put your notes in. Answer my questions. True Coach is down, which is frustrating. It's not down. It's just like being gay. It's very, very annoying. All right. It is June 17th, Tuesday, 7 a.m. Let's talk about some fitness. Let's talk about the life. So I was on vacation. What's up, Craig? I was on vacation last week at Disney in Orlando, which was such an interesting. Have you guys ever been bit by a yellow fly? Dude, these fuckers hurt. And I mean the worst. All right. 26. Holy smokes. Guys, I got bit. I was wearing a tank top the last night we were there, and we were outside just hanging out after we put Bennett down. And there was one flying around, and I didn't think it got me. And I have a plethora of bites like on the outline of my tank top. And it is hands down the itchiest and like longest like uncomfortable bite that I've ever had. It's the worst. The worst. It's like 3 bites in a row. Oh, I have had chigger bites for sure. This is but like isn't it a chigger is not a chigger. Make sure I spell this right. That's a bug though, right? Yeah. It's like a fly. It is. I have been bit by a chigger. Dude, it's the worst. Aaron, you're in Jacksonville. I don't know if I knew that. What gym do you go to in Jacksonville? Anyways. Oh, dude, it's just like just now. This was on Sunday. This was on Sunday. And Christine, you're in California. 1, I'm sorry. 2, North Jacks. I have an athlete that goes to Tailwinds. Isn't Jacksonville? So from what I remember, this is back in the day, and I could be wrong. I feel like the Jacksonville gyms were very like there was like a feud between all of the gyms. At one point. Is that still the same way? Like all the gyms don't play well with each other? We don't have those in California. Probably the only thing that California does well. Christine, I just read that there was a tax passed, like a 66 cent gas tax. Is that true? Or like it's about to be passed? That's crazy. Good morning. Squat repeats. Oh, man, my legs are toast. I'll tell you what I did this morning. July 1st. Blech. That's crazy. Insane. Yeah, I know. We were just there, and I was so happy to not be driving. So, John won't see this. He doesn't watch the show, but here I have a good story about John. So John was at NorCal and I was too. And so we were on the south side of Sacramento, and the Savon House was like 40 minutes northeast of the venue, right? Far, like literally like 35 miles. And so I meet John, I pick him up from the airport because we said we want to get pizza. And so, it was in the it wasn't my car, but it was in the exact opposite direction of where I needed to go or where I was. And so I picked him up and we went and got pizza like maybe 15 minutes north of the airport. And so we're already like almost all the way there. Um, and we get a pizza, he pays for it, and we finish up and we chat for a little while and talk about whatever. And we're about to leave and he's like, I'm going to call an Uber. I'm like, how far is it? It's like 20 minutes. Like, I'll take you. And he's like, well, how about I just pay for the pizza? And he totally wamboozled me to get him 40 minutes away from the venue. And I knew it. And he tricked me. Not really tricked me. I knew I was going to take him, but it was so far. Guys, I don't even understand why they would stay this far away. And so we get out there and they're in like horse country in these $1 million houses that they somehow rent and put 20 people in. Anyways, it was far. And I drove like 80 miles that night to get pizza with John. Pizza was pretty good. John talks about grid the whole time, but he's a good guy. All right. Squat rower repeats. Nice. Oh, we're talking about fitness. Oh, here's what I did this morning. So I woke up at 4:45, like on the dot. I looked at my watch. I didn't set an alarm. And I was like, all right, what do I want to do? I was like, can I go back to sleep? But I went to bed pretty early. I was in bed before 10 last night. I was like, all right, so I'm already at 7 hours. So that's good. Can I go sauna? And go to the YMCA to sauna, but the sauna has been like kind of cold, not cold, but just not very hot. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. And so, because I was kind of bummed yesterday. I got up early and I went and it wasn't, I mean, obviously you sweat, but it wasn't like it normally is. And I was like, I don't want to do that again. And I looked at the workout. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do the workout. So I go to the gym and it was like gymnastics, EMOM, which I didn't really care to do. So I did 4 rounds of 50-foot kettlebell walking lunges into gorilla row, like 14 or 16 reps, because that's how many steps it was, 20 GHD sit-ups, and like 14 or 16, however many steps that I did, weighted GHD hip extension. I did that for 4 rounds. And then I rolled into the conditioning. And the conditioning today was a 12-minute AMRAP. Every 2 minutes, including 0, you do 10. It was a row AMRAP, max distance for 12 minutes. But every 2 minutes, including 0, you did 10 burpee box jumps. But you don't have to stand up all the way on the box, right? Like you just like almost like a plate hop, like bam, bam. You don't have to extend your hips. So it's 10 every minute or every 2 minutes. And so the goal was like 2,000 meters. And I got 21:20. And it fucking hurt. It was painful. My ass is sore from the lunges too. All right. So that was my fitness this morning. Oh, and yesterday we had a good one. Had some like the gym is doing a DT complex. And I don't like hang power cleans anymore, but I did some front squats while they did that. And then the workout was 50 push-ups, 100 double unders, 50 push press. And my triceps are blasted. Sore. All right. Vicky, you're gonna run. So I coach Vicky now. And Vicky, I'm sorry to say, you are gonna run so much indefinitely. It's gonna happen. All right. Let's see. Vacation. Good morning, Tim. Oh, is Tim McQuaid? A watcher of the show, Tim McQuaid, sent me a bunch of coffee. I don't have it right here. It's really good. I'm drinking it right now. I'll show it whenever the time comes. Yo, there he is. Hey man, thanks so much. I just got your package. I've been traveling so much. I got it last night. I was gonna shoot you a message, but thanks, dude. Thank you so much for the coffee. It's really good. Super, super good. I appreciate you. Okay. So, all right. So every morning I wake up and because CrossFit is my life. I look at the games website and I just wait and I go, all right, perfect. Perfect only came last Friday. All right, nice. And so um and so I get on and I go here, I go to the leaderboard, and I just hope to see boom, and I don't see it. So, oh, they finally have this stuff out. So everyone has accepted. Alex accepted, which is really interesting. So she accepted, which means that Prevo might get the backfill, but it's going to be way late. Carolyn will likely be training for the CrossFit, for the Masters or the age group CrossFit Games. So we'll see what that plays out to. I think it's Alex's right to accept the spot. I think it is very irresponsible to assume for herself that she is going to be there in full capacity. That doesn't mean she shouldn't accept the spot, obviously, right? But I don't think that we can expect her to be on top of the leaderboard or in any type of shape when she is going to be in a boot. She's going to be in a boot. So everyone's like, oh, she won't be able to train. No, Tia hasn't accepted. That's what I get on and look for. So it's in order from person who accepted to whatever. So it would be up here. She has not accepted yet. So Alex will be immobilized till 2 weeks before the CrossFit Games. So everyone's like, oh, she can get her strength back. No, 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 no. She's going to be immobilized, not just doing light stuff. She's going to be in a boot, in a cast for 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll just assume she's 1 week in at this point. That means she might get out of the boot then. And that doesn't even mean that you can squat, just to be clear. Right. The leg. So again, there's a range of healed. Okay. A healed leg. Right. A healed leg does not mean it is a functional leg. Okay. Just because that bone is healed doesn't mean that you can squat load on it. No, it doesn't. It's certainly, it's all okay. Does it make a difference that it's not all bones are weight bearing? Just to be clear, that's why they're a bone. So I don't know what that. Oh, what's happening here? Go here. That's weird. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyways, well, that's cool. This one? Why is it doing that? That's fucking gay. I don't even know what that. So this doesn't mean anything, Lito. Like all bones are weight bearing. Okay, so right. It's not so much this. All right, this is gonna fucking blow my mind. Okay, so can I do it on this then? Nope. Oh man. There we go. What is happening? We're gonna stop sharing. What is fucking going on? Anyways, so I don't know what's happening. We're just gonna go to full screen. There we go. I think this is better. Okay, whatever. So I mean, there's probably a lot of range to this. So Christine says 6 weeks out of the boot is when you start back to learning to use again. No, I mean, so 6 weeks from surgery, like as soon as you're out of the boot, you're going to start walking on it and doing the stuff and whatever, right? But to be moving load, there's such a big range with that. She's going to try and move load the day that she gets out of the boot. Okay. And so I think the odds of her being able to lift a little is high, but to lift really heavy, not ideal by the time she gets to the game. She will not have touched anything over 60 to 80% before the games at all. It's 60 to 65% of any lift at all, besides maybe a deadlift. Maybe a deadlift. And so, good thing she is really strong, but she's also really good at upper body strength, which is really the only thing that she can do. She can't run. There's a really low percent of chance that um um yeah, and so Avera has more knowledge in general, right? So if Gazan is a broken leg, she's delusional. Bones take 12 weeks. Isn't it like 12 to 18 weeks to reach remodeling? Um uh we're 6 weeks out for sure. So I also think that um Alex also says plain film were negative and broken leg. I don't know how it would a plain film would be negative, but an MRI would show broken bone. Now we're like into the into the weeds, you know. I mean, it's probably. I mean, she was sitting side saddle in a car wreck, right? She's certainly not concerned about making it worse once the boot comes off. But anyways, let's get back to the whole point of this. Kazan has all the right in the world to take it. We hope she heals well. We hope she does well, but we can't expect. There's no way that she is going to be a top 10 athlete, maybe even a top 20. She's most likely going to be limping um, around at the games, right? So if you're limping, you're not running yet, you're not lifting heavy. Could she win like a, I don't know, like a muscle up ski workout? 100%. But she's not going to do anything else. And so that's unfortunate for her. That really stinks. And there is still a chance that she withdraws late and Carolyn goes, because Carolyn is going to get that spot, in my opinion. So, anyways, where this all started from was I get up every day and I come to here and I don't know why this is doing it. And I just see if Tia is on here, and she's not. And I'm really getting annoyed. But I did want to bring up Tia a little bit, um, because I don't know why this is um, uh, being stupid. But Tia did poorly this weekend, right? And so Hyrox is an interesting sport in the number that they get at any given event, and this is what I've been reading and what I've been told from people that are in the sport, um, is every course from the run perspective is different. And so when we see all of these records, we can't really compare them to other events during the year, which to me is a huge fucking problem. Okay. And so they ran a 54:11 in Brisbane, when they qualified for Worlds, her and James. And then last weekend they ran like a 56:10 or whatever it was. 2 minutes slower, okay? But all the times were a little bit slower. The winners were 54:10 or whatever it was, 18 minutes. Um and so they ended up 17th. Um, so they ended up 17th. Okay. Um, which isn't a very good score in general. And then they pulled out of her second race with Johanna. And it wasn't a good look. It was just such an interesting thing. Am I having a stroke? Yes, I am. I stay in a constant state of stroke since I was 20, like just all the time. Just like always have like blood clots just like floating around my brain. Um, so Lido, isn't that the same as a road race? Berlin Marathon is fast versus New York, which is hilarious. Yes, for sure. But there's so many races. There's so many events, and they're comparing. So there's only, like 10 big marathons, right? And everyone knows like where you set the world record at. There's also only one record to be set, but there's 1,000 different Hyrox divisions, and it's just an interesting thing um, that people aren't talking about, which I think is kind of strange to me. So anyways, what is happening? There we go. Okay. Um, anyways, it wasn't a good weekend for her. They didn't win. They got 17th in the overall, um, uh, which is not right. What's up, Sean? What is happening to my screen? I'm going to leave for 5 seconds and then come back. Hang out. All right, let's see if it's working now. Okay. So anyways, it was just an interesting thing, but I think a poor performance at Hyrox to me will promote her to do CrossFit. Tia doesn't like to lose, and so I can see her being kind of angry and needing to beat up on some people. So I think she's going to sign up, but I'm waiting for her to sign up, and we'll see how it goes. Um, okay, so Spin posted an interesting thing last night. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. The barbell spin. Mm. Um, no, for sure. So this is also Avera, 17th place. No, I'm not saying, I'm just making a general statement. 17th is um or the time. So they had a 54-minute in Brisbane and they had a 56-minute in Chicago. And so we also don't know where that ranked. They, in Brisbane, Hunter and Joanna beat her and James um by 3 minutes in Australia too. So I don't think they were as high. I think they got a second there. I think maybe the field was obviously less dense in general. So I'm not 100% sure what the thing was. But anyways, they didn't do as well as what the anticipation was. Okay. All right, I'm trying to pull up barbell spin. Can I not see? Oh, here we go. Present, share, bam, bam. Okay. So 40 WFP pros, these are signed athletes. 19 will not compete at the CrossFit Games as an individual. This is a really interesting stat. And it's something that I think, you know, generally should be talked about. And so Vindicate asked the question is it, are they choosing not to or couldn't qualify? And it's both. All right. And let's go over. We're going to go over and I'm going to write over here while we go through WFP World Fitness Project. All right, share. Okay, and so this is the only way I know how to find, like the easiest way I know how to find. Okay, so um, we're gonna go through. So we're gonna go out and in. All right, Travis Mayer is out. Couldn't qualify. Couldn't. Okay, Dallin Pepper is in. Did qualify, obviously. Paige Semenza out, right? I guess we should pull up the games, the actual leaderboard. I don't know who's in off the top of my head. Yeah, Paige Semenza. I can't believe Paige Semenza is a signed athlete. What the like? Really? It's like kind of strange to me. Paige, but Paige tried to qualify and she couldn't. Correct? I assume that she did the online qualifier and didn't make it. You guys would know maybe a little bit better than me. Games, semifinals, women, nope. Individual. Here we go. Page? Nope. Women. You guys will know. Anyone know? Semenza. Yep. Didn't qualify. Not even close. 45th. Right. So nowhere near qualifying. That's a big difference. Right. Okay. All right. We'll come back to this. Page out. Chandler. Page couldn't. Chandler chose not to. Man, my fucking marker is dead. No. That's annoying. Whatever. We'll just go through. Alex is in. Vellner chose not to. Brooke is in. Yellow Host who chose not to. Emma McQuaid. I think Emma's in, right? No, Lucy McGonigal. Emma chose not to, right? I think you guys would know better than me. Outs. Victor Hoffer and injured. Right. Oh yeah, that's right. She is injured. Did Victor do any of the he did Wadlands, right? Hoffer. Victor. Did he do Wadlands? Also out. French, maybe? I don't know. He didn't make it. I know that. All right. Emma Tall chose not to. I bet she wish she would have. Justin is in. Manon couldn't. Jason is in. Amy Kringle is in. Sydney couldn't. Tried so many times. BKG couldn't. Stop trying. Emma Lawson chose to be out. Bethany, I don't know. Sort of chose. Victor was out from before the open. Okay. Thank you, Lido, our resident European watcher. Bethany, whatever, not in, sort of in, signs up, doesn't show up. Fucking annoying. Stop red lighting your back and actually get better. Ricky in, Madeline in, right? Madeline starts in, obviously. Jay Crouch in, Guy couldn't, I guess. Emma Big Trout. Thank you. Emily Rolfe couldn't. James Spriggs in, Daniel Brandon in, Sam Quant couldn't, which was so surprising. So Sam was, I put him on the Guy is his shoulder's moving very well. I wanted to sort of talk about that. Anyways, so Sam was such an interesting thing. Sam only did the online qualifier. This is a great question, Avera. So we'll pause. I'm going to star this. I'll come back to it. Remind me to come back to it. Guy was out. He's sort of. So, anyways, all right. So Sam was an interesting one because Sam did the open. Okay. Sam did very well in the online qualifier. He was 15th. And basically every single person besides Tom above Sam qualified. Okay. Him and Tom are the first two out. And a lot of people below. Will, Jorge. I assume Yonakoski. Oh, Yonakoski didn't do the online. That's right. Oh, yes, he did. 13. So these three, Yona, Tom, Sam. So these three were the first out. And it was just really surprising that he didn't go to TFX. He's out of the West by definition, and he would have waxed the floor with them at TFX. So I was super surprised that he didn't go. I didn't quite understand that one. I know he signed whatever. Whoops. I know he's signed, but I just was really surprised on that one. That one threw me for a loop big time. And it's a lot. And kind of makes me sad. I mean, Sam Quant's a pretty staple athlete. I mean, he's been to the game 4 years in a row, 22, 23, 24, and 2020. 21 was a sick year, right? But he made it 3 years in a row. I mean, 20 to 21, right? I mean, these are great spots. I mean, the guy's a perennial athlete. It's just weird why he wouldn't have gone to TFX and waxed the floor with Nick Matthew and Chris Ibarra, because I think he would have. I don't even think it would have been a question. So just a weird one, you know? Okay, so Luca didn't do it. Yona, last chance qualifier, absolutely put it to him. He definitely planned this well. Haley in, Ariel in, Laura chose not to, Olivia in, Lucy in, Danny Spiegel chose not to do the season. That's all right. It doesn't matter. Danny Spiegel, everyone can hate her, but that girl's making more money than probably all 20 of these athletes combined. So she's doing her thing. Whatever. She's going to get fucking paid. Oh, yeah, team. That's right. Thank you. Noah out, Austin in, Adler in, Roman in, Alexis in. So there's a lot of people. Danny's a gladiator, and she is going to get paid a ton, and she's going to win. She's going to dominate that, just like she dominated the Rocks, whatever TV series thing. She's going to win. She's a freak. And you can hate her for whatever reasons, but she's a fucking, like, a gold mine of marketing. So I mean, it's like half and half, right? So let's talk about people that chose not to. Noah was retired. So 1 out. Paige tried. Chandler out. 2, 3. Don't think you can win as a gladiator, can you? I don't know what the question is. So 2 out, 3 chose to be out. So Yella's out. Let's start back over. Okay. So from the start. So where do we start from? We start from Noah. Okay. Noah chose to be out. 1, 2 with Chandler, 3 with Pat, 4 with Yella. 5 with Emma, 6 with Victor, 7 with Emma. 8 with Guy, I think. 9 with Luca. 10 with Laura. And then Danny's team. So 11. Oh yeah, that don't think you can win. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. Oh, she's not a contestant. She's a staple gladiator that's stopping them. Got it. Okay, I understand. Did Danny have a lot to say? I think Danny just sort of whines in general. So of the 19, 11 chose to not do the individual season. And I don't know if Spin is even considering Danny since she went team. Um, is Chandler on team too? Did Chandler go team with Danny? Are they on the same team? I don't think so. I honestly can't remember. Who fucking watches team anyways? No. Okay. That's right. Chandler's trying to do Hyrox or something. Right. Okay. So we're like half and half, which I think is just an interesting number. I think we're just generally at a pivotal point. I think of the 11 that chose not to do it, I don't know if a lot of them would have made it. Go back to here. Let's just go back. I think Noah would have had a good chance to qualify. Whether online, he's still wicked fit. Chandler, I don't know, man. It didn't really pose a good because he never wins semifinals. Like he just does like top 5. I don't know if he would have pulled it off. I think for some the qualifying process was really easy, and for others it's really hard, right? I think Pat would have won. Pat, I mean, obviously does seem very unfit currently, and so I don't think. But I think that's just a byproduct of like where he is in life. But I still think if he, um, uh, Noah is 5-time Spirit of the Games champ. He also won the East like fucking 6 times. So you can't put it by him. You don't have to like him, but the dude is always really fit. I think Pat would have probably came to NorCal and taken a spot, or TFX. I don't think Yellow would have qualified actually at all. I don't think Emma would have qualified. I don't think Victor would have qualified. I do think Emma would have qualified. Um, with in one of the European semifinals. I think she's probably regretting. I think she would have qualified for sure. Who else chose not to? Emma. Emma's a tough one. I think she would have qualified either. I mean, she seems sick, but if she was putting it to it, I think she probably would have. And I don't know if she would have made it in Syndicate, but I think she would have made it online. Bethany would not have qualified for sure. And I don't think Guy would have qualified anywhere. I mean, he didn't look good at any, he did do well he did surprisingly well in Torian, but I think the field in Torian is so top heavy that people aren't getting middle. I also think the workouts were really in his favor outside of the first one, which he did pretty well on. And so, you know, it was I don't want to say it was a fluke. I don't like taking success away from anyone. But I don't think he would have done the same in Syndicate. The workouts were long, running in the 100s. Would have qualified in Torian if he'd been top 1% in the Open, but he didn't. So I guess he technically did try. No, would he have? That's not right. Oh yeah, because everyone qualified. That's not true. This is the qualifier. Well, he didn't. So, yeah, Emma would have, right? And so she chose not to. And so Guy chose not to as well, right? Not being top 1%. I mean, I don't think that effort was unintentional, in general. That's right. Thank you, Lito. See, that's why I need the chat. It's just an interesting thing. Anyways, so you can't like the top 1%. I can't imagine that he tried 100%. He had to have gone into it just like, I'm going to be a part of it. Everyone in Mayhem's doing it. I'll do it. And it just is what it is. You can finish third. You win Copa Sir. You're obviously a 1% athlete, and he would have qualified, but he didn't. And so I don't know, man. It's just such an interesting thing. So I guess he would have qualified. So, anyways, I'll walk it back and say he would have. And Emma did end up on the podium in Wadlands. She would have taken the spot, I think, in whatever competition that she did if she would have done the Open. No, someone less juiced looking made it. Kenneth, the juiced up Brazilian make it this year. No, another most likely juiced up Brazilian. Oh, Wadlands? No. French throwdown then. I don't know. There's so many things. Anyways, an interesting Elisa. I think Emma did one of them. No? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah. I mean, at least both. No. Oh, okay. I'll walk it back. Thank you, Lito. Okay. Yeah, I checked. She didn't. Any CrossFit comps. That's right. They were talking. They felt like she would have won had she done it. Okay. All right. So let's talk about who's in general, since the list is relatively finalized. All right. Here we go. So Lucy Campbell, Jen Muir, Abigail Domit, Madeline Sturt, Ariel Lowen, Grace, Claudia, Amy, Fee, Miriam. Congrats to Miriam for finally making it. Olivia, Haley, Alexis, Sungyoung Choi, Sarah Meha, Syria, Syria. Annika Greer, Sydney. I don't even know who this is. I'm assuming this is the girl who made it from South America. Luisa. Oh, wait. Was there two? This is Colombia. Where did she make it from? I don't know. All right. Lucy, Emily, Christina. It was two spots from Copa Sur? Really? Oh, touche. Leviticus, Oceana, Brooke, Lexi, Mariana Mesa, Daniel, Brandon, Hattie, and Alex. Cool. So, big field, just waiting on one spot. Let's count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm waiting on 2. I don't know who the 2 are. I think I miscounted. I think this 29. Anyways, it's going to be good. I think this is a great field for the games. I'll love to see Tia either confirm. If she doesn't confirm, it's Georgia Pryor. And if Georgia Pryor is there, Alex is hurt. I think Lydia. Thank you. 2. You're right. And Tia. Touche. And Lydia will for sure accept. Congrats to Lydia. What a great comeback. She was like 7 points down going into the final 2 workouts. And went like second first or third first or something like that, and just absolutely blasted it. And so I think this is going to be a super entertaining games. We don't know anyone that's going to be on the podium, and I think that's a really cool thing to know. right? I think that's an amazing thing to be at. A situation, right? If Tia comes in, then we'll know, right? But other than that, it's nice to not know who is going to be on the podium. Same with the guys, right? Like we don't know who is going to be on the podium, and that's a fun thing to be at. In a sport that's had basically a guaranteed winner for so many years, or pretty much a guaranteed podium for so many years. It's cool to not know, right? Obviously, that comes on the back of Alex being hurt, Tia retiring, and some athletes not being here, right? Obviously, Laura didn't look great, so we wouldn't even know depending on that. But I think it's going to look really good. Now, on the guys' side, I think all of this is less besides, besides Pat Vellner. The guys' side top 10 is pretty much the same, but we have no idea who the podium is going to be. It really is going to come down to programming. Let's count the guys. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 3, 6, 8. So we're still waiting on 2. Bill, Jorge. So Yonakoski. Who else isn't signed up for the guys? I know. We're gonna get there right now. Havera. What other guy isn't on the board? Jason, Dallin, James. Oh yeah, the Iranian guy. Oh, that's right, because he doesn't know if he's even gonna get a visa. That's right. It is him. Oh no, this is him. Just kidding. Ty. Oh, I bet it's Jack Rosema. Yep, Jack Rosema's name isn't on here. Am I blind? No, Jack just hasn't accepted yet. So it's Jack. Jack and Yonakoski. But we have no idea. Like, you have no idea who the top 5 are going to be. We can guess. John will say he knows. It's probably going to be Dallin. It's probably going to be James, right? But we don't know what the order is going to be on the podium. Maybe Jay. Jay seems really fit. Jeff's probably our favorite. James, Dallin. I don't know though. Like, it can go either way. Will looked super impressive when he put it all together. Not a super strong field, but overall, he probably just hasn't accepted yet. I mean, I bet it's nothing more than that. Lito, why hasn't Jack accepted yet? Danielle Brandon didn't accept till like a week ago, and she qualified a month ago. So, yeah, right. In Austin Hatfield, right? So the field is deep, but it is deep, like your top 7, but it's deep to the point that like the podium can be flip flop between, I think, like 6 people across the board, right? And it's going to come down to programming. James is really fit. Jeff is really fit. Austin is really fit. Dallin is really fit. Justin will be very fit when he gets there. And so, not that he isn't currently, it's going to be cool, and then that's not even considering Roman or Ricky, right? But I mean, I think we're at like 6-ish, 7 people where we're just going to roll around, and it's really going to come down to programming, and then we'll be able to decide. So, which is awesome. That's going to be Colton. Jesus Christ. Colton is very fit. Didn't even mention Colton, right? But I think Colton is very fit, and Colton will have the most wins, 100%. But starting off with a 6-mile run, it just isn't, it's just going to hurt him, right? Like, it just is going to hurt him. I think he's the top 5, but I just don't. Hopper, I don't know. Hopper is very fit, podium athlete. I mean, we're at 7 or 8 people that I think can just flip flop around. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. I think this is the deepest the men's field has ever been, as far as maybe not the peak fitness, right? Because you have to take Fraser out of there. Assuming Fraser never existed, I think this is the toughest men's field that's ever come to the CrossFit Games, from who could win. Obviously last year was it, but I think James is fitter, Justin is fitter, Dallin is fitter, Austin is fitter, Colton is fitter than they all did last year. And so, yeah. So we'll slide back up. Sarah Kaya. The Asia qualifier, while had all 7 events were really cool, it was a poor combined test. Every workout was like barbell gymnastics couplet in some capacity, pulling or pressing gymnastics in some form of barbell cycling, every single workout. And so it didn't play to her, even though she is moderately fit. It really mattered for you to be really good on the barbell. Okay. So we're going to go to this. I already asked this question earlier. We'll go back to the first one. How is it possible that a game spot was on the line for the LCQ and only 9 men and 20 women even registered? All right. A few things. Okay. So only let's see, Community Cup. Let's see how many people could register. Nope. All right. So this was an A. Who is eligible? So the top 50. So a lot of people were eligible, roughly 60 to 70 athletes on each side. Okay. So roughly 60 to 70. Everyone kept saying 5. When was this written? I always need to know when it was written. May 14th. Okay. So this one was the most current. So a lot of people were available. The psychology behind one spot is very impactful when it comes to deciding if you want to do a workout. So Facundo said that a lot of people were registered but never basically like they confirmed, right? So like the invite was sent out to however many people. Okay. So probably roughly 100 men, 100 women, give or take. Okay. Because they didn't backfill any. Most of the top 50 from the in-affiliate were part of the top 10. So there was a lot of double dipping. They didn't backfill any of them. So I think they basically went with this and then whatever was left over from this, right? And so they didn't go into the specifics of that. So we don't know how many people were actually invited. But the psychology behind you have to win, and it's the only way that you can do it. That's the only way that's in, plays a huge role. Workouts come out. You see all 5 workouts. You see that it's not really heavy, pretty hefty gymnastics requirements, in basically all gas, no brakes. And that's not everyone's thing. Okay. You look at some people like Yonakoski didn't even put his name on the leaderboard, which I thought was really important. I bet less people would have signed up even so. And so even looking at it, not even all the 9 did the workouts. So let's go to Hustle Up. We'll just look at the guys. Jesus. So for the guys, so while there was 10 or 9, or there were 11 signed up, only 9 did workouts. And so the in-person, a lot of guys don't like qualifying online. They're not good at it. They feel like they struggle, and it just plays a role. 2 is totally different. Also, competing in person there's a lot more there, and people are thinking about than just qualifying for the games. So the only reason people would do this was to qualify for the games. But of the 50 athletes at NorCal, for example, 40 of them understand that they're not going to the games, but they like competing in person. And their goal is to go to the games eventually. And this is how you get there, right? This online process, the only point of doing it is to qualify for the one spot. But 85% of the people going to in-person events know they're not going to qualify, but it's the stepping stone on getting better, driving yourself to drive or teaching yourself what you need to do to drive training for the next year, etc. And it's also fun to compete in person. You go places, you travel, you get to do the thing. The only reason people did this was to qualify for the games, right? And it's at the end of the season. Most everyone that was qualifying had done the last chance in at least one. So they've competed twice within the last month. Um, and so some people were tired. They knew they didn't have it in them. And it just is what it is, right? Now, the women's field being 20, bigger number, I anticipated 30 on both sides. I was very surprised it was only 9. Very surprised. I think a lot of guys are beat up, fatigued, mentally smoked, and it's just not something that they were thinking of doing at all. Right. So I think that probably plays a big role too. They saw the workouts. They're like, I can't beat Nate Ackerman. Right. His name was on the leaderboard. And so I think that also had a big role to play in it. Right. If you don't think you can win, you're not going to do it. But um, a lot of people don't just go to qualifiers to try to go to the CrossFit Games. Right. They try to get as high on the leaderboard as they can, maybe for some sponsors to move their way up in the followers and all of those things that play a role to become a professional athlete. Um, and then you have some people that are like finishing 20th. Like Gucci's a great example, right? So she went to Wadlands, she flew to the States, stayed with me for 6 weeks to train for NorCal, but we knew she wasn't going to qualify, right? Like that wasn't the goal. The goal was to continue moving your way up the leaderboard. And she wasn't eligible for the last chance. But even if she was, we wouldn't have done it. No way. So, all of those things play a role, right? As far as the women being 20 spots, you know, um, I think women have maybe a less realistic view of where they are relative to the leaders in the world sometimes. And meaning that Um, also I think women are maybe addicted to the training a little more than the men are. Just from what I've seen from athletes and who I've talked to about with coaches and things like that. So I think that's why more signed up there. But I thought it was going to be 30. So anyways, I think that's more of it. And then there's no gratification. There's no positive of doing the last chance qualifier. Um, well, we weren't eligible. Right. So we weren't eligible to do the last chance. And you have a lot to lose, right? Like everyone is, if you've been, Gucci did two semifinals, didn't do the in affiliate, and she was beat to shit. Like she's exhausted, right? Traveled around the world from Bali to France to Spain, to Florida, to California, and now she's back in Iceland. And so competing takes a huge toll on you. It's not golf. You cannot compete for 8 weeks in a row or every 2 weeks for 8 weeks and assume that you're just going to feel okay, right? We have to start thinking about next year. We have to start working into preparation, right? Like here, we're going to do this. We're going to do as best that we can. This is going to help drive our training for the next year. This is potentially, um, a good way to build sponsors and notoriety, etc. Um, um, but it's just impossible to do this, and so risk of injury, right? Exactly. Amanda knows. Amanda gets it 100%. So much for all the claims athletes want. No, this is 100%, right? Like they want more. Well, okay. So I think the statement is athletes want more opportunity to make money. That's what they're trying to say. They're not saying that they just want to put their bodies through hell more often. They're saying a very politically correct way of they just want to try to make more money. That's what they're saying. Online qualifier doesn't do that. Okay. NorCal does. Other qualifiers do. You get in front of a camera, et cetera, et cetera. So, oh, guys, I'm so sore. Okay. All right. That was a good talk. Did we talk Community Cup? No, I didn't go through the leaderboard at all. I signed up and then we were traveling and I just didn't have the motivation to do the workouts. Okay, so does this season drive more people to who? What people are we talking about, Avera? Let's answer that question first. What people are we talking about? Are we talking about the athletes that have a pro card? Like the athletes that are already signed to WFP? Or the athletes that are trying to qualify, like the contenders? I don't know. So does this season drive more people to WFP or away from it? I think right now the season structure currently is really cool. The CrossFit season structure right now is very ideal. It gives people a lot of opportunity to compete, qualify, and no, because do more elite athletes get driven to the well, it doesn't matter. Only 40 get to sign, right? So you can drive as many as you want to it, but only 40 are going to get to sign. Okay. And NorCal paid out 30 grand. And so, but I think the current season structure is ideal. I think it fits what we've wanted. Maybe a couple less spots from online, shift online to the very end. And so the way that the season is written now is it's going to require elites to continue to work harder. Right. And so Avera, but you established that about half of the WFP are retired, not competing in the game season, and most of them won't make it back. And about those half won't make it back to WFP on a pro card either. CrossFit, I say dump online altogether. Maybe. But the problem is we have to be able to make money at these events. And this is, and I know you understand this, CrossFit, but just for everyone, no online would be fucking awesome. But TFX loses money. Syndicate probably lost money. NorCal doesn't lose money because it's fucking ginormous, right? The problem is Wadlands for sure lost money. No one was there. Okay. The problem is it's about the fans. It's only about the fans. These semifinals have to make money. CrossFit is not going to subsidize them. And even if they did a little, it wasn't Avera. That's incorrect. I disagree. I don't all CrossFit controlled. The problem, okay, so even if you like last year's semifinals, CrossFit controlled completely. CrossFit is not going to spend the money, and they lost millions of dollars in the semifinal section of the year. So we have to be able to make money. Okay. Right. We have to be able to make money. And this is how we do it. CrossFit, make them show up. We have to reintegrate teams into in-person competition. That's how people fucking make money. That's how you sell tickets. People don't care about the elites. if you look at ticket sales and you could poll every person that bought a ticket to every CrossFit event this year, guaranteed 90% of them will have bought tickets to watch their friends or people they know personally. 10% will be they came to watch Justin Medeiros at NorCal, right? Or Bill Leahy at NorCal or whatever, right? Or Danielle Brandon at Syndicate. Okay. And so we have to, these events and these semifinals, okay, IPQEs, whatever the fuck they're called. Okay. They have to bring a community event into it 100%, right? The person who qualified 30th, well, maybe not regionals. It was a little different then. Because Jim, like that was, so regionals probably we're saying the same thing, but regionals, right. Quarters online, then let Syndicate, TFX, Merriam run semifinals. No online. I think there still needs to be something online to anchor, right? I think it goes to like 5 spots and it's at the end and it's the last chance qualifier, right? So something like that. I still think there um, uh, needs to be something online to finish the season. I don't think it needs to be early like it was this year. I don't think it needs to be as many spots. I think you take like somewhere between 3 and 5 and you put it at the end. You make all the videos public, you do all the things, and you make it this big spectacle for the last chance qualifier, and you put that back online. And I think that's a really good idea. Um, um, and so I think this is also a good chance here, or a good idea here. Requirement: you have to have done an in-person to be eligible for the LCQ. I like that a lot. Um, but this really comes back to these semifinals have to make money. Mayhem lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's okay because they can do that, right? And so we have to find ways for these semifinals to make money. In teams pushing teams to qualifying is where it's at. There's also rumor they're going to pull teams back out of online and put them into in person, which I think is a really big thing. We'll fill up these team spots big time in all of these events. And there's rumor that there's going to be some masters online or there's going to be some masters in person qualifying opportunities, which is huge. You want to talk about people that travel? Put Rose is a 55 athlete, okay, that I've coached for years. She has a good chance to podium as a 59-year-old going to a 60. She owns Titan CrossFit in Baltimore. Put her in person at Syndicate, the whole fucking gym is going to come. The whole gym. 50 people are going to come watch one athlete compete. They do it at the games. They've done it at the games every year. So, Avera, can Mayhem afford to lose one? Avera, I can't stress enough how much money Mayhem can afford to lose. Okay. I can't stress enough how much CrossFit Mayhem is worth and how much they revenue every month. Yes, they 100% can't afford. 100 it's not even a question that they can afford to do it, and they will do it again. Scottish G, if you're renting a building and bringing the kit and people add as many groups as you can, anything to try. Yep. Right. Masters have kids. And so this is where CrossFit fucked up. And I thought initially that it was not the worst decision. And my wife was like, this is a dumb fucking decision. And after 2023, they split Masters away from the CrossFit Games into their own thing. And Dallas was a little bit different, obviously, or Fort Worth with the venue selling out, blah, blah, blah. But Albany is a great example of what happens when there's maybe not quite a ton of commotion and like support for the CrossFit Games. This is why it's not selling out. 50%, if not more, of the people that come to the CrossFit Games are there to watch the CrossFit Games, but they're also there because they go to a gym that their masters, their grandma is competing at, or their gym owner is a masters athlete competing. And so, and so it is a, it was, it's, it needs to come back. We need a venue that's ginormous that can fit adaptive, age group, and games athletes in the same place, and it needs to happen. That's how you're going to sell tickets. 100%. I think that's the only way that you truly sell out and you continue selling out. We stop trying to make this a true sport. I know Spin. So Spin says I've been saying this, and I thought early I didn't like it. Like, I liked the split because we were trying to professionalize the sport. And after last year, I walked it back. I think it was a terrible fucking decision. Um, and it needs to go back to like a festival, right? Like, we have to stop trying to professionalize this sport, and we need to bring it all back together, right? WFP can be the professional sport, whatever, right? But yes, for sure, college campuses work, right? College campuses 100% work. It's in August. Why not use a fucking football field, right? Um, it's a week. It's a week in August. Football camp is over. It's in between sessions. They're usually away for a week here. Right. CrossFit might have had CrossFit had the perfect direction in 2018. And then it all went downhill from there. We're not talking about that today. I don't have time to go into that today. But I truly believe that pushing it back, bringing back the age group. When we want to sell tickets, if we want to sell tickets, dude, are you kidding me? That would be insane. Yeah, it did. It did have a sneaker deal funding a lot of it. Now, I think a lot of the problem was, I mean, they gave away $1 million+ of gear. They don't need to do that. It's cool, right? It's really cool to it's really cool to have that huge package, but that package is what broke Noble. Like, purely, the package broke Noble, right? Noble was giving $4,000 worth of shit to every athlete, and it's such a neat thing, but it doesn't need to be like that, right? Like, we can find a different piece, right? Um, yeah, and so yeah, for sure. But I mean, there were a lot of other things that broke Noble, making the same exact shoe for 10 years. But anyways, it is, I don't even know how we got on this. What was the driving point? Oh, semifinals. I think the season structure is, I think, no, it's not. I think the season structure is, um, is ideal currently, with some small changes to the online, pushing it to the end. But we need to bring back the community aspect at the games, and that's going to be what continues to drive it forward. I think pushing it as a sport, people just don't care enough about it. But if the Masters gets 20 people in every Masters that comes brings 5 people, right? Every single Masters. And every games athlete that comes, and again, and we know they don't watch it online, right? No one watches the Masters online because they're all going to travel and support them in person. So why not bring them back, right? Raise ticket prices. Everyone's going to pay it. Who fucking cares? Raise ticket prices. Focus on making money in ticket sales. Um, and I think that's the direction that we should go. But we'll see. Hopefully, the new owners have like similar thoughts. But who knows? I don't know. Man, that was a good show. We talked a lot. Should they bring back quarters? I don't know. It was such a shit show for the sport version. Right. Exactly. Final words. Thanks, Spin. We have 3 organizations that basically would be like subsidiaries under CrossFit to run this. They would do all the volunteers, they would do all the blah blah blah, right? And then CrossFit helps organize them so they can share some flooring, but they do all of the gathering, the program writing, etc. They do all the stuff on their own. They just do it at the same place in the same venue. It's like the Arnold, right? Everyone has a big enough, and it doesn't even matter if they're off to the side and they just share the big floor for 1 or 2 things, you know, or they do it earlier in the week like they've done before, right? Um, right, exactly. They're subcontractors. They come in, they run it. Those people want to run that shit for free anyways, right? And I've also learned that CrossFit does subsidize the games events. Like they get money to run those events. So why not bring them back? CrossFit pays them to run them. Well, they give them money. I don't know if they pay them. They give them money to support them. They help set up their contract with Rogue, and things like that too. So obviously it's not enough to fully run it. But those people like Pitt and Legends, and Wheelwad, they're not losing. They're not losing money. Like these guys aren't, losing money out of their own pocket to run it at the games. Like it's still CrossFit funded events. So why not bring them back and just, rent out the entire week, right? Like in college campuses, God, we've been saying this for fucking ever, man. So like even in Fort Worth, like SMU, um, SMU, SMU would be the perfect college campus for something, right? Small basketball arena, moderate football size. And so, anyways, I think it would be ideal. All right. On that note, we'll see what happens. We never know. CrossFit keeps me on my toes all the time. Must have been a good show. Spin was in the show. More than one comment. Thanks for joining, Spin. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hey, guys, if you're looking for some good CrossFit apparel, head over to prapparel.com. Use code WODprep for 15% off. Small company, but they make really good stuff, right? Good quality. They do a lot of good oversized shirts, full cotton, which are really nice. I love the oversized look. They have some nice long sleeve training, kind of like a composite material. So head over to PR Apparel, support the show. There's 58 of you here. Please like and subscribe. I would love that as well. Yeah, exactly. Chapel Hill, dude. Fun fact. I was in a fraternity. So side note, we'll pause this. I was in a fraternity. I was in Sigma Chi in college, and our yearly like gathering for like the officers of the fraternity was at, yes, Comfort Colors. Yes, Comfort Colors. I have like this like tan or like this off eggshell white with like a baby blue writing on it. Super nice. Anyways, we would take like 3,000 people to Chapel Hill every year and do like trainings for whatever it was. No, it's probably very unlikely. Again, we talked about this early. Kaya 1912, broken fibula, needs 6 weeks. It needs 6 weeks for her to be out of the cast, and then there's another form of remodeling and time that's needed. It's not possible. It's possible for her to go and be on the floor, but it's almost impossible for her to have lifted any weight at all by 6 weeks from now. So again, there's a spectrum and a time to like there's another gap of time from like healing is the sense of she can walk on it, versus a be nice Avera, versus lifting weights, right? It's like in 6 weeks she might be out of the cast, but that's when the game starts. So there's another 6 to 8 weeks of like actually regaining strength, loading parameters, progressive loading, That's not including any jumping or running or anything like that. So no, if it's a broken bone, it's not healed in 6 weeks. Anyways, Jeff, I was a Sigma Chi. All right, Chapel Hill. Anyways, back Chapel Hill. There's a football campus on like there's football field on campus, lots of dorms, great nightlife. Anyways, we would take it over. Awesome place, easy to get to. We would drive. It would be the perfect venue for a CrossFit event, hands down. Perfect venue for a CrossFit event. Basketball arenas right there, outdoor. So, anyways, Chapel Hill was great. I loved it. Went there for 3 years. Partied our face off. Great bar district, right? Like walking distance from campus, which I think is really important. I think that's why Madison was so awesome, because the outside events from the venue were so nice. So anyways, no, Madison was great. I would fucking, dude, the games could be, so what was wrong with Madison? Not a thing. Madison was just hard to fly into. The airport sucked. It was the only thing, and it was very hard for people to leave Madison because of everyone leaving at the same exact time Monday morning, delayed flights, etc. That was the only bad thing. But you could fly into Milwaukee and drive. And I mean, it's doable, but the town was perfect. So, anyways, all right. I gotta run. I gotta get Bennett up. He hasn't even made a noise yet. So hey, thanks guys. That was a great show. 50 people watching. Again, like and subscribe. Please support the show. You can support the show by joining, obviously. But you can really support the show by supporting our sponsors, PR Apparel right here. They have great stuff. It's a smaller brand, but he makes good quality stuff. He's at all the semifinals. He works really hard. The guy's out of Colorado driving a truck all the way down to Pensacola, Florida. That's where we met about a year ago, and he was in NorCal. And so he's on the grind, but he makes really good stuff. So definitely buy code WODprep for 15% off. Support the show. Please listen to Jonathan Ortega. I'm wearing their stuff. All right. Thanks, guys, so much, and we'll see you on Friday. Peace.